It's iconic, it's Auckland, and it's Christmas.
It was just an icon of good times, basically.
And like everything Auckland does, as a Wellingtonian, I just looked at that and went, what the hell is that piece of shit?
My name's Hayden Donnell, and I'm a New Zealander. I love kiwi onion dip, climbing trees, and Dave Dobbin. I'm a journalist employed by a website called the Spinoff, and lately I've been consumed by one obsession. For too long, museums have been cluttered with bird bones and squid corpses. So we're travelling across New Zealand. We want to secure treasures from our ancient past and convince our National Museum to accept them. I don't know if we'll succeed in our mission, but I'm willing to risk everything to get it to Te Papa. I'd managed to secure 2 national-level artefacts, but I still needed something big, something huge, something gigantic.
Every New Zealander has their own ideas about what ushers in Christmas. Pohutakawa trees in bloom, their first sweet mouthful of kiwi onion dip, hearing Santa Claus is coming to town at countdown. But for Aucklanders, one thing and one thing alone beckons in Christmas: Auckland's giant Santa.
Auckland's giant Santa has been around forever, and I think, you know, it's an iconic sign. So
It beckons people into
definitely
Christmas.
It does, yeah, it does.
Seeing the Santa for the first time meant more to me than seeing the Sky Tower.
Wow.
Because I was so excited just to see his big, stupid face.
Yeah.
I do remember my first vivid memory of Auckland's giant Santa, and that would be when I was a little girl and driving up Hobson Street and seeing giant Santa with his finger wagging and his eye blinking.
Life changes around him, but Santa remains constant.
It kind of starts to feel like Christmas. You get the parade and the Santa on the farmer's building and sun and prawns, and then there's your Kiwi Christmas.
When Big Santa went up, it was like, oh my God, it heralded, you know, the best time of my life, to be honest, because, you know, we knew that Christmas was around the corner.
I knew Santa deserved to be in Te Papa, but he still belonged to Auckland. If I was going to get Santa into our National Museum, I needed to convince the person in charge of the city to relinquish him.
Mayor Phil, what is your earliest memory of Auckland's giant Santa?
When you're a kid, anything big impresses, and Santa was 18 metres tall and 5 tonnes. Boy, we thought it was wonderful. And he was somebody that we looked forward to, and boy, did it take a long time each year for Christmas to go around. Now it just goes like that. What can that mean?
I don't know, possibly that you're old, but I'm...
It's a very unkind suggestion, but it's true.
I'm a truth teller. At this point, let's take stock. The history of Auckland's giant Santa is long and complicated. Santa first graced Auckland's skyline in 1960 when the department store Farmers erected his huge frame here, where the Heritage Hotel now stands.
The old Farmers building was a place of absolute joy and wonder because they had a playground that took up almost an entire floor.
The building was sold in 1990 and it looked like Aucklanders would lose their beloved Santa. But the Manukau shopping centre came to the rescue and Santa moved south.
But in 1996, the shopping centre ran out of money. Santa moved back to Auckland's CBD, to the Whitkills building on Queen Street, where he remains to this very day.
But in all this time, Santa has never found a permanent home.
Auckland's giant Santa, the beating heart of Christmas, has lived in mortal peril for 25 years. Each year could be his last.
I get worried about him because I think he's going to also fall into disrepair if we don't put him somewhere that he can rest up and you know, can be enjoyed by other New Zealanders in generations to come. So, yeah, Te Papa seems like there's the right space.
I know that you haven't been mayor for long, and so you haven't had time
Seems forever.
Yeah, I mean, to us as well, but I mean... So I know you haven't had time to make a massive difference all over the place, but can you just say to me, is Santa a priority for this council?
Well, Santa's important for Auckland, I think, and fortunately every time that the current or then current owner of Santa said, hey, it's just getting too expensive, you know, Santa needs a facelift, Santa costs a lot of money to put up in place. And there's talk of Santa not going up in the next year. There is a surge of interest, and we get, you know, some incredible people in the community wanting to help with that and pay for that.
I guess I'm just worried about Santa a lot of the time. I spend quite a lot of my time sort of...
Worrying about Santa?
Yeah,
as you
sort
do.
of like, what's going to happen to Santa? Is Santa going to be okay?
I think we can give you an assurance that between council and the private sponsors that we work with, that Santa is here to stay.
I wanted to take Santa to Te Papa, but Phil Goff was refusing to cooperate. It was time to enlist one of the people who had helped Santa most over the years. Stephen Hanford, the man who saved Santa.
So, Stephen, how did you come into possession of Santa?
Well, the agreement between me and farmers was to trade $1, so I spent $1.
You bought Santa for $1?
Mm.
When did you know Santa was in peril?
4th of December, 1996.
You remember the day?
Absolutely. He was in peril. He was basically, he needed work. He needed money spent on it.
He looked sort of broken. No, because he was all cracked and it was not right.
It took me 442, I've done some research for you, so 442 days of bargaining to take legal ownership for the financial controller at Farmers to take my $1. And I took over full responsibility, which meant I had to pay for the costs out of my own pocket to move him out of Manukau.
In 1998, Stephen started the process of moving Santa back to Auckland's CBD. He used contacts from his marketing career to clean Santa up. Businesses donated time and money. The owners of Whitkills offered their Plum Queen Street building for Santa's new perch. Stephen threw himself into the project. He paid $25,000 a year in Santa storage and upkeep costs. But why?
To answer you directly, I guess I knew that I could save him. It still comes back to the spirit of what it represents. It represents joy. It represents giving.
Passion drove you on here.
I didn't sit here and it was all passion.
Stephen clearly loved the Santa. But as I was speaking to him, I sensed his story was tinged with pain. Santa has long faced accusations that he's creepy. He was once named the creepiest Christmas ornament in the world.
How did such a lovely idea, building a massive Santa for the children, instantly backfire? Like, the finger. Like, what of all... surely if you can make the finger animated, surely you can make the whole hand move. This is creepy. This... probably okay.
As a child at the Santa parade, looking up at the magnificence of that Santa and seeing it as a symbol, I guess, of hope and joy. A little bit later, seeing it as a little bit creepy with the beckoning finger wink combo.
Like, who thought this would go well?
It is slightly creepy.
I'm probably more of a supporter of the winking eye / beckoning finger Santa, just because I guess he's got a bit more character and he's quintessential New Zealand Christmas. I feel like it's not Christmas without, you know, weird Santa attached to farmers.
Anyone out of Auckland can see how bad it is, but you guys don't get far enough away from Auckland to actually go, why have we got that sky tower?
This creepy, this okay. Why just this?
Non-believers, there's non-believers out there.
Yeah, I'm going to say it, they pissed me off. What was your problem? Didn't you get enough, presents when you were young? Where does the negative come from? Why do you need to take that narrative? Why go down that track? Even when we were here at Christmas time with my son, I'm standing there trying to run out in the middle of the intersection to take a photo with him. But it wasn't just me. There's hundreds of other people over a period of half an hour doing exactly the same thing.
15 years ago, Stephen gave Santa up to Whitkills, who later handed him over to Heart of the City. Now, thanks to Manson's, he lives on.
Stephen, this has been great, but there's an old friend out there waiting to see you. Stephen, it's Auckland's giant Santa.
It was obvious to me that Stephen needed closure. He needed peace. Stephen was heard about people who perceive Santa as creepy, but he was truly angry at one man.
Can we get into the dark side a little bit?
Well,
I know Santa has enemies.
Yeah. Cynics.
Not just cynics.
Well, okay, well, tell me who.
I've got one name. Alex Sweeney.
Alex Sweeney was once in charge of Santa as boss of Heart of the City. He was convicted of defrauding the Central City Business Association in 2015. But Auckland still has to live with the changes he made to Santa. In 2009, Sweeney ordered a $180,000 makeover of Santa. 2 reindeer were added, as well as some cheery Christmas gift boxes. But Stephen claims it doesn't add up.
This is our original black paint.
Yeah.
So no bloody money went into this.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Only Mr. Sweeney can tell us where the 180 went. This is the spirit. That is decoration.
Yeah.
Okay?
Canonical, non-canonical.
Thank you.
Sweeney's refit did affect 2 crucial elements of Santa. His winking eye was fused open, and his friendly finger was welded in place. It was there in that storage yard that a thought hit me like a huge body sliding down a Christmas chimney. Santa wasn't going to fit in my van.
Do you know where the original eye's gone?
I thought it was auctioned off. Someone got hold of it when they did the refit, the recondition of this, and I thought it was sold off in an auction or someone bid for it and got it.
So you're telling me they sold off the original eye?
That's what I read. I don't... That's what I read.
In that moment, my mission was clear. The original eye was the winking window to Santa's soul, a national-level artefact in its own right. I needed to secure it for New Zealand.
Stephen, would you support me if I got the original eye to Te Papa?
I'd drive you. Absolutely.
Thank you, Stephen. I'll just give you a couple of moments to say your goodbyes, Santa. If that's...
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, it's funny, I'd like him back. I don't live here anymore. Okay, old guy. Nice to see you again. See you in another 25 years.
News stories showed the eye had been sold on Trade Me, the online auction site where New Zealand hawks off all its weird stuff. I contacted the eye seller, Damien Kutia, on Facebook. He refused to speak on camera, but did give me the screen name of the Trade Me user he'd sold it to. Martha 2012. I needed to find Martha 2012's true identity. I went to the only people who could help.
This printer was probably worth all of about $2, but he described it as evil incarnate. It was possessed. It was bringing him down, and he sold it for $280.
But I wasn't here to talk about haunted printers. I resolved to get what I needed and leave.
It's time to get down to brass tacks. In December 2009, a man named Damien Kutia sold Auckland's giant Santa's eye on Trade Me. Are you aware of where the eye went?
Yes, I am. It went to a member, I believe, out of Auckland.
I understand that member's name is Martha 2012. I need the identity of Martha 2012.
Sure thing. I can't give you her details, but I can go away and give her a bell and see if she's up for having a chat with me if you like.
Yeah, that would be appreciated.
Trade Me had come through. They'd given me a name. It turned out Martha 2012 was a woman from the swanky Auckland suburb of Parnell. And she still had the eye.
So this is the eye here.
It's even more incredible than I imagined.
I couldn't believe it. The eye had almost fallen into my lap. but I still had to secure it for my growing collection.
You are the legal guardian of this eye, the Eye of Auckland's Giant Santa.
No.
But you're Martha 2012.
Yes. I didn't buy it. Well, I did technically buy it, but on sort of my auntie's behalf.
It was actually Simone's aunt Sonia who'd bought the eye for $790. Sonia was camera shy, but happily she'd given Simone power of attorney over the eye.
So you can administer the eye today. Would you be prepared to legally sign over this eye?
Absolutely.
It belongs into Papa, this eye.
Perfect.
Okay, that's great news. José, can I have some paper, please? So I think we just need to do a legal ceremony, just because, I mean, we'll do this legally. Okay. Just drawing up the contract.
Perfect.
So this is a legal document that we can just do to sign over the eye. Oh. Look, this is amazing, thank you. I mean, I thank you, but more importantly, New Zealand thanks you. Thank you on behalf of New Zealand.
With the eye secure, I felt calm, confident. Unfortunately, my optimism was short-lived.
I don't see why I have to be in the back seat.
Well, we're putting the important cargo in the front seat.
Fine. I mean...
José.
Yeah, okay. To be honest, I was a little underwhelmed. I kind of thought it would be bigger.
That's a ginormous eyeball. That eyeball is bigger than your entire face. Think about that.
Right.
It's just not about the size of the eyeball, José. It's about what the eyeball does to people when they see it.
José's reaction was worrying. Clearly there was still some doubt about the eye's value. Impressing Te Papa wouldn't be easy. I realised I needed the help of a great salesperson to win over the museum gatekeepers. Thankfully, New Zealand is home to the greatest salesperson in the world. A person who could sell anything to anyone.
Hey,